Hi guys, 18dap here and welcome to this matchday preview for a top of the table playoff clash. It's Carlisle United versus Doncaster Rovers. Let's get the video started. So guys, welcome to this matchday preview, Carlisle United versus Doncaster Rovers towards the top end of the table. Both teams fighting for promotion. If you're an existing subscriber, thank you so much for sticking around and supporting the channel. It is greatly appreciated. We're on the road to 3,000. I did say if we get to 3k before the end of October, a FIFA 23 giveaway will happen. So if you've not already clicked subscribe, please go ahead and do so, and you might be in with a shout of winning that. If you are new, this is a format that will go through match previews. We'll look at the previous meetings between the two clubs, current form across all competitions. I choose a Doncaster Rovers player to say a few words about. I give my opinion on the one to watch for the opponent, in this case Carlisle United, but you know your club much better than what I do, so please in the comments down below let me know if you think that I'm wrong with the player that I've chosen. And then we finish the video with 3 predictions. The predicted team lineup thanks to FanHub. Me and the family have a predictions league, so there's an update on that table. And then the all-important score prediction for this fixture tomorrow at the very end to round the video off. So without further ado, let's get into previous meetings. Carlisle and Donny have faced off a total of 65 times in our history. Both teams have won 24 and we've shared the spoils on 17 occasions, so as even as you're going to get. And then when we look at the more recent 5 fixtures between the two, we drill down into it a little bit more. It's even once again, so we go back to 2012-13 season in League One. It was a 3-1 away victory for the Rovers. I would love for that to happen tomorrow, but then the return, the home fixture was a 2-0 win to Carlisle. Jump forward to 2016-17 season, again in League One, and it was a 2-2 draw at home and then a 2-1 defeat away from home for the Rovers. So not quite as even in the 16-17 season as what it was in the 2012-13, but everything is balanced with a 2020 FA Cup tie where the Rovers won 2-1 away from home. So not too bad a hunting ground in the last 5, 2 wins and a defeat. I'd take, well, hopefully that's a good omen for tomorrow's fixture and we bring the points home. But yeah, it's a tough one to call, very, very even. So with it being a tough one to call, we have a look at the more recent run and the more recent form across all competitions. So current form, Doncaster coming into this one on the back of a 3-match winless run across all competitions. So 2 wins, a defeat, a draw and a defeat. Carlisle on the other hand, unbeaten in the last 5 and much further back as well. We will go into that one, but a penalty win in the Papa John's Trophy, a draw, a win, a draw and a win. So if that pattern goes on, it's looking like it might be a draw, and I'd probably take that. They look a decent team this season, so an away draw you can't always grumble. We're fetching something home, especially on such a long journey as well. But looking at the Rovers, poor first half performances continue to heap masses of pressure onto Gary McSheffrey. The strong rumours at the minute that he is on his way out and potentially may already have left the building by the time this video goes live. At the time of recording, he is still the Doncaster Rovers manager, but by the time this goes live on the channel on Friday, he may have already gone. So watch that space, add me on Twitter. I'm sure I will react to him leaving if it does happen before this fixture. But for me, we can't continue to perform like we have done in the first 45 minutes and then make wholesale changes for the squad to show what we are capable of. We've shown that we're capable of playing decent football a number of times this season. It's not been consistent, and that's one of the problems, and the fact that he's not been able to set up correctly to begin with, is having to make these wholesale changes. It just doesn't bode well going into games. Leighton Orient were very good in the first half, kind of took the foot off the gas a little in the second. Barnsley, the kids, were very good in the first half midweek and absolutely took us to the cleaners. 4-0 down at half time, could have been 5 or 6. But having said that, we've gone in at half time looking like a beaten team, and then we've come out re-energised, revitalised and won both second halves, 1-0 and 2-0. We've not got maximum points, so we've not drawn the cup game or anything like that. We got beat midweek, only got the draw against Leighton Orient, but that just shows that if he's set up right from the get-go, we could actually get at teams and get positive results. So yeah, pressure's on McSheffrey. He may still be here, he may be gone, but for me, if he is here, he just needs to get the team selection spot on before the first kick of the game in tomorrow's fixture. Moving on to Carlisle, these are for me one of the surprises of the season so far. A great start that finds them in the playoff places, in the final playoff position coming into this fixture. Paul Simpson has got them playing decent football, not great football, but he's good enough and he's getting results. Unbeaten in 8 across all competitions, and then they've only got 1 defeat in their opening 12 league games, and that one came to current table toppers Stevenage, so it was only 2-1, and that just shows that it is going to be a very, very tough game tomorrow. The joint 5th best defence in the league also points to a tough day coming tomorrow, but the 8th best attack gives me a little bit of hope that a tight game could be coming, and it explains why they're only in the final playoff position. Plenty of draws within the first 12 games of the season, but only 1 defeat, so a very tough team to get anything from. Moving on to player profile, for this one I have gone with Tom Anderson. Great to see Tom back out on the field against Barnsley midweek after sustaining an injury against Salford earlier in the season, and for me I think Tom could be one of those really influential players in the defence over the coming weeks, coming up to Christmas, and Olowu returning from injury as well. I think he may just steady Rochon up a little bit, but yeah, he seemed a little bit off it on Tuesday night, but that's expected with the amount of time that he's had not playing. He was just lacking a bit of game sharpness for me, but hopefully that game sharpness will return quickly, because I think he is an important cog in the machine that is the squad at the minute. 157 games for the club and 9 goals. You'd like to think he'd get more on set pieces, corners and things. He's a big lad, always gets up there. I thought he had scored more, to be honest, but apparently he's only scored 9 in the 157 games, and that shows how poor we are at set pieces, which could be something to work on if there is a new manager coming in the building. Get some goals from set pieces. Moving on to the one to watch for Carlisle, I have chosen Owen Moxon, but as I said at the start of the video, you know your club much better than what I do, so if you think it should be somebody else, pop them in the comments down below. I'd like to know who we should be looking out for as Doncaster Rovers fans. I've chose Owen though, 24 years old, centre midfielder, 14 appearances this season, and he's been involved, or he's created the most in the Carlisle team in terms of goals. 5 assists, he's leading the way on assists this season, 2 goals as well. So yeah, always in and about it. I think if we nullify that threat and that ability that he's got to find the pass to create the opportunities, then there might be an opportunity for us to bring something away from Brunton Park. But for me, Owen Moxon is the one to stop and the one to watch in tomorrow's fixture. Moving on to the predicted team lineup. This is thanks to FanHub. If you've not downloaded the app yet, please go ahead and do so. Plenty of features to get your teeth stuck into. The main one for me though, predicted team lineup. So this is what I'm going for tomorrow's fixture up at Carlisle. It is 4-4-2. We need to play 2 up top. It's very simple. We play 1 up top, he's isolated, we get absolutely nothing. We change it to 2 up top and we get a bit of joy. So for me, he's got to start in 4-4-2, or at least 2 up top. But I've gone with Mitchell in goal, a back 4 of Noyle, Williams, Anderson and Maxwell, a midfield 4 of Kyle Hurst, Adam Clayton, Ben Close and Luke Molyneux, and then a front 2 of George Miller, who scored a brace against Barnsley midweek, and Kieran Agard to round the 11 off. Hopefully that is the squad that's picked. Hopefully it's good enough to get some points and bring them home nice and safely, but we will see tomorrow when the confirmed team lineups get announced. Moving on to the predictions league table. So as I said at the start of the video, me and the family predict the scoreline for every league game. If we get the scoreline spot on, we get 3 points. If we get the outcome right but not the scoreline, we get 1 point, and if we get it completely wrong, we get no points. And on Saturday against Leyton Orient, there was 2 of us who had very little faith in the Rovers against Leyton Orient. We both went with defeats. That was me and Max. But Dad and Chris had belief that we were going to win the game somehow. so they went with wins, but it was a 1-1 draw. So no change to the table. Max stayed on top on 13 points. Chris in second on 11. Dad in third on 9, and I'm rock bottom on 8. So that takes me to the score prediction for this fixture, and if you've watched the videos before, you know that I'll always predict reasonably, I think. I'll never predict us to win every single game. I think this one's going to be a really tough one. They've only lost 1 game this season, and that's against a very good Stevenage side. I don't think we are in a position to impose ourselves on this game tomorrow, so because of that, I think Carlisle are probably coming into this one with a bit more belief in themselves, a bit more motivation, a bit more momentum, and because of that, I think they will beat us. But I'm going with a 2-1 defeat for the Rovers. And that's where I'm going to leave this one. If you've enjoyed it, please stick a big thumbs up on it for us, please. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.